And sticking on the topic of data and bulk data collection, now we've covered the issue of Huawei in the past and whether Huawei is going to be allowed to put any of its equipment on telecoms networks in the UK. That's obviously banned now. But Germany is also getting on the bandwagon. So this was from yesterday from AFP. Germany said Thursday it will phase out the use of components from Chinese telecoms giants Huawei and ZTE in its 5G networks in the coming years. Due to national security concerns. Now, who is behind this claim of national security concerns with respect to Huawei? Well, of course, it is our old friend Christopher Steele, who not only pushed the Trump dossier, and there was not a word of truth in that, and pushed the Russia dossier, and not a word of truth in that either, but also pushed the Huawei dossier. And of course, this was claiming that Huawei was orchestrating a covert campaign to manipulate MPs in the United Kingdom. So we have talked about Unit 8200 in Israel in the past as well with respect to Huawei and so on. I'm going to go back and look at this again today and look at a slightly different aspect of it. So just to remind you, Unit 8200 is the Israeli Signals Intelligence Agency, the equivalent of the NSA in the United States or GCHQ in the UK. And when we covered this in the past, we were particularly interested in their connections to Checkpoint and the fact that they had provided the seed capital and the founders for Checkpoint, and Checkpoint effectively being one of the key network providers of firewalls, of routers and other things on the internet and so on, and in corporate networks as well. But today we're going to have a look at the other organization that we highlighted in the past, which is Palo Alto Networks. Well, Palo Alto Networks was founded, or at least co-founded, by this gentleman, Nir Zuk. And this is their description of him. They say that he brings a wealth of network security experience and industry experiences to Palo Alto Networks. Prior to co-founding Palo Alto Networks, he was CTO at NetScreen Technologies, which was acquired by Juniper Networks in 2004. And prior to NetScreen, Nir was co-founder and CTO at OneSecure, a pioneer in intrusion prevention and detection appliances. Nir was also a principal engineer at Checkpoint Software Technologies and was one of the developers of stateful inspection technology. And the key point here is that he was also, at one point prior to all this, an employee or a conscript to Unit 8200, and that provided the seed funding for OneSecure, for Checkpoint, and for Palo Alto Networks. So the question then is, what are these organizations, these companies, and what is their relationship to the intelligence agencies? Just as a by the way, a couple of years ago, he moved back to Israel. So he is back in that country doing whatever he's doing there. Now, let's just bring this on screen. This was an expose by Haaretz. This is going back to September last year. Revealed Israeli cyber firms have developed an insane new spyware tool. No defense exists. And what they're talking about here is a Haaretz investigation, which they say reveals that the Israeli cyber companies developed technology that exploits the advertising system at the heart of the online economy to monitor civilians, hack into their phones and computers, and spy on them. This terrifying capability, against which no defense currently exists, has already been sold to a non-democratic country. And the point here is that the approval for this was given by the Israeli government and the Israeli Defense Ministry itself. The company that's behind this, also supported by Unit 8200, seed funded, is called INSANET Limited. INSANET Limited, they don't even have a website. They're that covert, as it were, but they are selling spyware and so on. So the question is, what involvement do these companies that are seed funded by Unit 8200 and the Israeli intelligence agencies, what purpose do they serve actually, and what role do they play in the whole cyber warfare situation? Now, just to give you a little bit of background, Israel has the Israeli National Cyber Directorate, and Unit 8200 there is considered to be the offensive branch of the Israel National Cyber Directorate. So this is totally offensive. And on the other side here, we have this organization, which is considered defensive. I do apologize. The name has completely escaped me at the moment. But anyway, we'll put that in the show notes to make sure that everybody knows who the defensive side of the Israel National Cyber Directorate is. But just to highlight this a bit further, a few years ago, the Intercept published this article, Cache, Weapons and Surveillance. The US is a key party to every Israeli attack. And this was talking about the offensive cyber warfare capabilities of the Israeli government and the involvement of the NSA and GCHQ in contributing to that as a result of information leaked by Edward Snowden. So the key point here is what relationship, again, do the intelligence agencies in the UK, the US and Israel and their cyber offensive efforts have to the private companies. But let's bring this on. Over the last decade, said the Intercept, the NSA has significantly increased the surveillance assistance it provides to its Israeli counterpart, the Israeli SIGINT National Unit, also known as Unit 8200, including data used to monitor and target Palestinians. In many cases, the NSA and ISNU work cooperatively with the British and Canadian spy agencies, GCHQ and CSEC. The relationship has, on at least one occasion, entailed the covert payment of large amount of cash to Israeli operatives. So why am I interested in Palo Alto Networks today? Well, I was watching the Tour de France last night, and in the ad break, an advert came on screen. Let's just have a look at it.
It was just a regular Cybersecurity Monday. That's me. I'd seen this before. Or had I? What was this AI treachery? I needed some help. Good thing I knew someone. Or something.
Glad you called, Jay. It's time for an upgrade.
Awesome. My path became clear. I knew what I had to do. Because they never stop. No time to waste. This isn't sci-fi. This is precision AI.
So Palo Alto Networks now bringing what they're describing as precision AI into the whole cybersecurity field. So I've got a number of questions that I think need to be raised. Let's bring them on screen. First of all, what is the true nature of the symbiotic relationship, apparently symbiotic relationship between cyber warfare and cyber defense? Because we have an organization, Unit 8200, pursuing cyber warfare with GCHQ, NSA, and so on, while at the same time they're seed funding cyber defense organizations. This seems to be symbiotic and a very dangerous situation there. Are cyber defense companies seed funded by Israeli intelligence bulk data collectors for 8200, NSA and GCHQ? And if they are, what's the effect of bringing AI into the equation going to be? Let's continue. Once cyber defense companies like Palo Alto Networks include AI in their offerings, does that multiply or diminish the threat? And then the final question is Huawei the enemy? Or in fact, do we face an enemy in our own countries and perhaps centered around Israel? I think there are many questions to be asked around this whole sort of structure and this whole capability that's been developed. And nobody in the tech industry is asking what the role of these companies actually is.
Well, I think your concerns are well founded, Mike, and lots to be asked, because this thing is moving at an incredible pace and in most cases out of sight or hidden in plain sight as far as the wider public's concerned. So we will continue to focus on